OzChomp warning. The following gameplay includes content for a mature audience. This may include violence, horror, blood and guts, spooky things, coarse language, even sexy rude stuff, drinky smoky tokey things or items including any or all of these themes. Some viewers may be uncomfortable with this. Please stop the video if you are not happy to hear or view such subject matter. Remember, it's just a game, so let's have fun. Thank you.
I'm escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space!
I can tell by your helmet that you sprung for the premium edition. Let me check how much I made from licensing my likeness for that promotion. All right, I got nothing.
Pulverizing them suffice? No, I couldn't liquefy them. Apply them and congeal them into kibble no beast could resist. Oh, Ethel, darling, you're a genius. Approach with less haste next time, won't you? Copernicus may be tame, but he still doesn't take kindly to being startled. Oh, Inez, you look, well, like you could use an ice bath and a cup of newly formulated triptease. Has something happened?
Something has, all right. I ended my contract effective immediately. Now I'm free to prove myself to everyone in Auntie's choice. My way.
Well, that's wonderful news. Or is it? I admit I'm still trying to work through what contracts mean hereabouts. But you do appear to be pleased, so I shall be pleased for you. That is not common knowledge in this town. But since Inez appears to trust you, I suppose I can do the same. Before I began my new illustrious career working with our tame, scarily friends here, I was a researcher in the Enhanced Soldier Division. Oh, I was on the verge of breakthrough when they shut us down. Oh, when I think of the lives I could have reached. But in my current role, I do try to help where I can.
Where my own first aid training can't reach, Doc's got me covered. The graft knocked me on my ass for weeks when I first got it. But she nursed me back to health.
Would if I could have done more. Right. I have a lead, Inez. I've identified 2 viable beasts on this island that you may be compatible with. though it may not be easy to acquire the suitable specimens. The first candidate is the skeleton crabble. It has a rare form of albinism and was last spotted on the western coast by protectorate scientists, who, unfortunately, went missing. I happened upon an old report of theirs along with a code used to operate their machinery. If their fate is what I suspect, the code may be of use to you.
I heard rumors of the creature myself. Our skeleton sounds a good bit larger than the average crabble. Meaner and smarter, too.
The second candidate is a raptidon matriarch, the only one of her kind on the island as I understand it. She was last spotted in the crags near the Vox Relay.
Deep in protectorate territory. This matriarch sure ain't making it easy for us. She'll be more aggressive and more cunning than her smaller kin.
When you breach the matriarch's lair, you must rouse her from hibernation. I found pheromones to be quite effective. Inez, I'm certain you know a formula that may suffice.
That I do.
Excellent. It'll be a rather unpleasant wake-up call for the matriarch, so she'll be upon you in moments. I suggest your armaments be at the ready. Then the grafting part is yours. Yes, though I would recommend a careful surgical removal of the specimens, please. Now, when you acquire one or both of these parts, return here straight away, and we can begin surgery. Law guide you both out there.
Executive skill building continues. Well, at least for me. Can't speak for my inept colleagues. Today's task, leverage teamwork and leadership to navigate a risky landscape blindfolded.
Which you apparently interpreted as just shout at everyone.
It's called delegating. At least I participated, Cobb.
I told you, I got a bad scrumpox flare-up.
Of course, I served as leader of this activity. A thankless job. Cohorts tripping all over. Pfft, sprains, blunt force trauma. Not my fault these tanglefoots can't follow directions.
Stillwell and Lumberg blew up!
Duly noted for the log. Quite the oversight from management to set this exercise in an uncharted minefield. Someone will catch hell when I'm an important VP. Soon enough.
Don't fret. With these boots, I can fly! Are you breathing? Say something! Oh, law. I can't believe he jumped that way.
Sir, I know this isn't the time, but are they gonna put us to the gallows for this?
What? No. That ain't how we operate in Auntie's Choice, Liza. We might be looking at a pretty fierce demotion for losing half our workforce and getting stuck up here, though.
Demotion to fertilizer?
No. Now cease your jawing. This ain't the time. Hey, you! You down there! Would you mind checking on our fellow? Might he have survived the fall? He thought those boots would make him fly, but they really just allow the user to jump repeatedly. Unless their downward velocity is too great. If so, well, you see what happens. Not nearly as upset as we are. We've been stuck atop this machine since Ida, one of our new Protectorate acquisitions, had her gray matter scrambled by the height, jumped down, and landed right in its gears. That's right. She joined us shortly after Auntie liberated her with the freedom of meritocracy, and she seemed happy enough. I can't fathom no sensible motive why she'd jump.
Were you not listening? She said she'd always be a loyal subject. It was part of the endless inculcation we endured in the Protectorate. It can prove insurmountable for some.
The notion that she'd sacrifice herself, even after seeing the vast possibilities in staying alive and climbing the corporate ladder, it's just impossible to cognize. There ain't no way off this platform besides jumping, and you've seen how that ends. But you being down there makes you uniquely qualified to help us. The reason Jackson tried using those plasma thruster boots was to gather a piece of machinery we'd spotted on a little table halfway up the spire.
It's a drive overloader. If we install it, we can push the platform's arm hard enough to, well, to grind old Ida out of the gears.
Though the power of that overloader will deluge the system and, well, overload the drive and burn it out all permanent-like. But desperate times and all that.
So if you were to use them boots to bound up the spire and deliver the overloader to us, we'd avoid the tragic fate of our two former cohorts.
Exactly!
Thank the sovereign. Thank you, stranger. We are eagerly anticipating a long life, utterly absent of starvation.
They're found in bandages and burn tinctures.
If you don't have that drive overloader, ascending may be a waste.
That's it? It was that easy?
Morale and soothe all manner of mental malady in the listening workforce. At least in the lab. Not
That was some impressive climbing. Poor Jackson could have learned a thing or two from you. Starting with the right direction to jump, I suppose. Wonderful. Get us down, and I'll happily compensate you in accordance with standard Auntie's Choice urgently improvised extortive standards.
We've certainly found our way into a most harrowing circumstance, At least I'm glad I'm not alone. He hadn't been here terribly long, so we weren't particularly familiar. Like me, he was also former protectorate, but he was not raised in Fairfield, so we'd never met before. Still, he seemed like a friendly, kind sort, albeit a headstrong one. Please do hurry. I've lost count of how many meals we've missed, but it is closer to many than a few, and we're starving. You're really something else, stranger. Thank you for getting us down.
Oh, thank the law. I never thought of myself as a vertiginous sort, but being trapped 100 meters in the air will make you reconsider.
I mirror that sentiment, to be certain. In fact, Auntie will have to pay me triple if heights are to be involved. And isn't it grand to be in a system that allows me that freedom?
So, the platform still works? That's amazing! Not that we'll be going up in it again. For that, you deserve a little extra on top of your urgently improvised extortive rate. Thank you again for all your help.
Hell, looks like your paint's getting a little worn. I can touch it up for you if you like. Only fair, considering how much you do for us.
Any cosmetic changes must be approved by Agent Ibarra, who is responsible for maintaining this unit. His current level of care exceeds baseline requirements.
Oh, I know, you're looked after. Just want to help you shine like the gem you are. Tell you what, I'll talk to Niles, and we'll treat you to a tune-up and spot cleaning. What do you say?
Due to the Valerie unit's protective anti-bloodstain coating, a gentle cleaning with diluted soap should be effective in ridding your unit of even the toughest grease. Please avoid all sockets and cease cleaning immediately if sparks occur.
See those burrows? The skeleton's nearby. And if it's as nearby as I think, it don't bode well for those scientists. Hey, well, hey, don't tell me we came all this way just to turn tail. Huh. Seems this terminal reroutes power to speakers around the cave. They were using sound to lure the Crabbles out. Let's see here. Generator's back on. Power up that phonotron, would you? Should cause enough ruckus to make the skeleton come out and play. Well, you hate to be proven right. These folk have been dead a while. And that must be the machinery Doc mentioned. Over here, Commander. Huh. Seems this terminal reroutes power to speakers around the cave. They were using sound to lure the Crabbles out. Let's see here. Generator's back on. Power up that phonotron, would you? Should cause enough ruckus to make the skeleton come out and play. Nice work. Mind bringing it over here so I can take a gander? Muscular reticulation's still intact. Cartilaginous integrity mostly sound. A good clean cut. And the pincer's still sharp. Yeah, this'll do just fine. Shame about all the scientists, though. I was hoping this wouldn't be too steep a price. If you still got some hunting you, that Raptidon matriarch's on the loose. Her den's not far from the Vox Relay up north. Elsewise, we head back to Fairfield and speak to Doc Tinsley.
At least coming out to spot folk who ain't here no more is easy work. If you're that new salesperson, don't bother. Whoever was here packed up and left. I just come out here to tick boxes on Milver Street's list. And it's easy bits. It's the crunch. That scrunch. The one that makes it a brunch. Who feed you purple berry crunch if they love you a bunch.
At attention, Trooper. Report. Why are you out here? Where's your unit?
What unit? I was just eating some purple berry... Wait. My unit. All along, They ambushed us! There was so much blood! You can't make me go back there!
Damn, this is bad. Listen, nobody's making you go back, but you're an easy target for Raps or worse if you stay put. Your unit wouldn't want this for you.
Yeah, that's true. I've got to get back to Fairfield. Back inside our bivouac wall. Back where it's safe.
Yeah, that's it. Back to town, where you can get a big, comforting bowl of purpleberry crunch. You ready to move out?
Yeah. Thanks for all your help. Oh, Law! The Protectorate scum took all our weapons. How am I supposed to get back? The Raptidons will rip me to pieces! Wait. My hands are shaking fit to fall off my arms. Couldn't hit the broadside of a bank. If only there was something that needed less aiming. Of course. I hate to ask, but any chance you got a grenade I can borrow? Even if I miss, the noise should scare off any Raptidons. I can handle it. I'll be far safer with it than without. I can't fight a Raptidon unarmed. Thank you. I'll only use it if I have to. Well, off I go.
Gotta say, Commander, this weren't one of your finer ideas. Let's hope he ain't got the wherewithal to actually pull the...
Just gotta get the fear. Just gotta... Oh, what was that? Is someone out there? Stay back, I'm warning you. I got a grenade. All I gotta do is pull this pin and... Uh-oh.
Unusual levels of Zeranium detected ahead. Caution is advised. Mind the needles. Negative. Pharmaceutical reload in progress.
I'd heard tale of those war-bred monstrosities, but this facility is overrun. We must pull back. Return with no less than a support battery.
Wardens do not retreat, nor take any ignoble action. I shall excuse your cowardice by way of shock. Whether we are destined to succeed or die, we shall do what is required of us. We will not falter. Marchand, make a duplicate of our field recording. In the event we don't survive.
Confirm
Ceased. Is there any way Ames and Marchand could have...
I'm sorry, LaRue. They died in the service of the Protectorate. Stop. Breathe. Then we shall press on.
You surprise me. We cannot complete this mission and yet live. And should we live to see it through, your wife shall meet her end.
Protocols ready. Status susceptible to danger.
See? That wasn't so bad. Nothing's ever simple.
Friendly.
Climb up the shaft faster than this.
Attention hostiles. Repeated attempts to devour the will still be disturbing.
Finally! Anything else the universe wants to throw at us while we're here?
suffered grievous wounds. At least one of my lungs meets the open air. LaRue fell swiftly. Screamed for me to help, but if I had remained to aid her, the mission would be at its end. The mission which is now doomed regardless. I arrived here to find the controls non-functional. Since my weapon delivers magnetically contained electric charges, I inserted it into a conduit hoping it would spring to life, but the Fairfield power controls have deteriorated. I wish I could admit relief that in my heart of hearts I wished my love to live, despite her traitorism. My darling, I am sorry. But were you here, I would use the last of my strength to slay you. Our feelings are not even a candle to the incandescent love of the Sovereign. Our blood, my blood, for the Protectorate. Signing off.
security hostile. Tolerances exceeded.
Don't come any closer. Oh, you're not protectors. I think the sub. Huh?
Engaging.
What's that noise?
Confronting threat.
Raptidons are ever malleable. Eden doesn't want them around and they don't belong here. They sure carved out a place for themselves. I can respect that. Keep howling. We're coming for you. Here, all right? Let's put our heads together. See these half-eaten remains? They're a sign. Matriarchs lose their appetite when they're on the verge of going into a state of torpor. She'll have retreated into hiding to conserve her energy. But I got one way to get her attention. Hey, if I don't celebrate my own stroke of genius, who will? I'm just happy my acquaintance with these creatures counted for something. You know how Doc mentioned pheromones? Well, it just so happened that I procured some Raptidon glandular extract in my travels. Should do the trick. A matriarch with 3 full stomachs ain't coming out of hibernation unless she senses a threat to her authority. She hates rivals. All right, let's do this. Phew. We should harvest a limb from the matriarch while the body's still warm. That's the limb. Bring it here, would you? Whoa, look at this part. That's twice the muscle mass of a Raptidon hunter. Undamaged nerve endings? Even the coloration's to my liking. Can't ever discount the aesthetics. You're no slouch, you know that? If we had more soldiers with your talent, we would have taken Eden months ago. You earned it. Whenever you're ready, we should head back to Fairfield. Have a word with Doc Tinsley now that I have both the skeleton and matriarch specimens. In honesty, I don't know which one I should ask Doc to patch me up with. Can't go wrong with either, but one could be the better choice. If you've got an opinion, I'm keen to hear it. The material we harvested from the skeleton crabble could allow me to fire off scalding shell shards. They'd pierce through armor easily, I imagine. And the part from the Raptidon matriarch should let me camouflage myself at will, like other Raps can. I'd be able to close the distance and heal you up without the enemy noticing. Exactly what I was thinking. I'm good to head to Doc's lab with the news and this part when you are.
believe some of those Protectorate hull heads just couldn't see the benefit of self-betterment.
Let them simmer in their cells for a spell. Less able bodies muscling in on our contracts.
Just got mine stamped and signed. Officially on the payroll for another 78 days. Including today. Not that I'm counting.
Auntie's Choice is the proud maker of Spacer's Jaw, Zero-G Brew, and antibiotics. Everything you
Don't go into that cheap saloon if you got a lick of gumption. They got no tolerance for it. Why do you think I'm out here? Has nothing to do with my current and very temporary shortage of funds.
Back again? I hope the hunting has gone well. Certainly, if you've procured the right materials. I've been fine-tuning the procedure in the meantime. I do believe it'll be as smooth as Crabble butter.
I'm gonna assume Crabble butter's especially smooth, because I'm ready to feel like myself again. I've decided on the skeleton Crabble graft. It's time for the program to branch out, and I expect this claw will serve me mighty well. If you don't mind, I'll go ahead and take this spare part off your hands for my own research.
Oh, the skeleton Crabble will be a splendid match for you, Inez. Go on now. Get sorted while I get this machine up and running. Mind the Raptidon drool on the table. No need to be nervous. I promise.
Thank you for the bedside manner, Commander. As you can tell, I've got a nervous temperament and jump at the sight of my own shadow.
Enough distractions, please. I need the utmost focus for my work. This is beautiful work. My best yet. How does the limb feel, Inez? Any numbness? Pain?
Yeah, both. Body's not accustomed to the presence of another limb. Feels like I've got an extra passenger in my nervous system. But it certainly beats feeling like I'm bleeding on the inside. Or fighting the urge to feast on raw human flesh. Like last time.
Well, I'll certainly be having words with that surgeon, leaving you in a state like that. Now, you come back straight away if anything bothers you.
Will do, Doc. I thank you. And you, Commander, without your help, I don't know what I might have done. Whatever you need going forward, I'm there. You got my word. I feel strange. In a good way. Auntie's documentation doesn't describe the side effects of grafting with a Crabble, but so far, not hearing complaints from me. I'd say this officially puts me back in full fighting form. If you ever thought I might slow you down, you can give those fears a kiss goodnight. I appreciate that, Commander. I got a good feeling about this partnership of ours. Just want to reiterate that I'll make good on my end of the deal. I plan on proving my worth to you and to Auntie, no matter what it takes. I expect we're going to have quite the adventure together. I appreciate you hearing me out. We should move on.
OzChomp